Hey everybody, it's Jack and Dan.
Hey, we're finally getting around to doing a yard update here, huh?
Better late than never.
Yeah. So these are little corners up here, huh? And we had a lot of rain this year. So we never bothered mulching. We just never were in the mood to do that kind of stuff because it never stopped raining. So I don't know, probably next year we're going to do it. This wood stuff here is really getting old. We're probably going to take that out and brick that in like we did most of the other yard. But these guys were growing like crazy with all this rain. We've had to trim those guys several times now. And same on this side. Had to trim those guys up many times. We did shoot a couple shorts out here. So you'll guys be seeing those when we do our Holy Shorts or whatever upload. This clematis was super awesome in purple for about, what, maybe 1 month? I mean, it just didn't, it
kind of died.
A lot of stuff didn't stay. We ended up getting a lot of clouds. There was no sunlight. I mean, yeah, Mother Nature was kind of ticked off. We did have some pretty awesome big yellow daylilies here, which we have to spray because the deer love them. And they were huge. And then what happens is they kind of die off. These little guys take over. This is like two plants next to each other. Anyway, they're doing really good. The deer don't mess with those, and we have more of those up there. We did water quite a bit, still on those hot days. What do we have to water? Like maybe, I don't know, 10, 15 times? Not a lot.
No.
But we did have to water a lot on the days we did because it was very, very dry. It was like feast or famine. But anyway, we got the rain barrels. We've done several videos on those. They'll be in this yard stuff playlist if you've never seen it. We have 8 of them, 1 on every downspout. And basically we hook up the Works hydro shots to it. Everything's battery powered now, solar powered, everything like that. So it's really cool. These guys we needed to trim quite a few times too. And this big guy up here was doing really good. This island was doing awesome. We have all these pokeweed and we have this milkweed. This bloomed awesome, but same thing. They only stayed bloomed for like a few weeks this year. And these huge storms came in and a lot of these guys just died. They were all laying down, and it stinks because we love these. Go up, stand next to that. I mean, you could see how tall these are, even compared to Jack. Some of these guys are 6 feet tall or higher. And at the end of the day, sorry, that guy was sneezing. He had like a sneeze attack at the stop sign. That was kind of funny. But anyway, yeah, this milkweed was huge. Unfortunately, about half of it, the last big storm we had, well, a lot of it fell down during storms, but this last storm, I mean, this whole half just laid down. Basically, what we do when we get these huge pods, which Jack loves, he thinks they're like big alien space pods, and they are really cool, is we take them off and we kind of distribute them through. Now, you can see there was a lot of other stuff in here, but a lot of it has choked out, and we're kind of letting the milkweed take over. This is a little thing we made here for Pamela. That was an old one her mother had in her yard, and we painted it, and you know, it came out good. But anyway, these guys are great. We love the milkweed. It didn't stay, the flowers didn't stay long at all this year, and a lot of it laid down because of the storm and just was laying on the ground. The pokeweed did pretty good, but a lot of it laid down, and we do think it looks kind of pretty when it's up there in green. We've never cooked it. A lot of people have said that we should. We're probably going to look up some recipes, and maybe we will try to do that this year.
I don't know. I mean, we can try, but...
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's kind of a pretty plant. It turns red and purple and green. These berries are about dying. You can see they start off as green, but these are the berries they use for a lot of the early, you know, American type of documents, like
the Declaration of Independence. It's like an inky substance.
Yeah, they make ink out of it. Anyway, for the most part, we let a lot of this ground cover fill in, and we just edge and trim along these bricks so we don't have to mulch anymore. And a lot of the rain barrels are kind of hidden back in there. And there's Jack's bridge tanks right there. It's pretty neat. But, you know, I mean, everything really behaved itself. We did not treat the grass this year. We probably should have. We just didn't feel like it.
A lot of weeds kind of grow up, but some of them look pretty good.
Well, we just thought it needed a year off, and we were busy doing so many things. But anyway, this thing kind of went crazy too. Usually this wild grass grows up and looks really cool, but again, there was so much rain, it like forced it to lay down. And anyway, we'll have to trim it up and stuff, but that's how it goes sometimes. Here's our other really big island. We've got this massive holly bush. There's a couple in here. These vines have kind of taken over, and we did keep pulling them out and cutting them out, but man, they just keep coming back, and it's not too bad. A lot of these rocks we're going to be moving. We're going to be doing an update on the Works aero cart and how that works, because we are going to move some of these rocks around. That's one of the projects we're just still going to do this fall. We're kind of at the time of year where we kind of stop watering, you know. I mean, Jack's back at school. I'm getting super busy with work. We just kind of stop watering.
Well, it starts getting colder too, so there's no point.
Starts getting colder no matter what, this stuff. But anyway, this ground cover fills in nice. We do quite often get puffballs in there this time of year, so we're going to look for those. And I did look those up. You know, you could actually eat those.
I'm not going to.
We could check out some recipes maybe for next year. One of the things we do use our rain barrels for and our works for, if we kind of stop watering, a lot of times we'll, this time of year, pressure wash the patios. But Jack already did this one. We do have all these tanks, though, that we're going to be working on. We're going to be using the Works Hydro Shot to pressure wash these guys. Obviously, we have to be very careful. You don't want to shoot it in the seams, but we're going to be probably resealing all of these, cleaning them, possibly reframing all of them. All of these are going to be a whole huge pond project over here in the in-law suite, where we're going to kind of join them together, and we may take the frames off. We're not sure. Here's some of the awesome pond plants that we got from Cooper Aquatics. They're sitting out here in the sun doing great. These were a massive thing of tiger lilies. They're actually called Kwanzaa lilies. Some of the most beautiful lilies ever, right? I mean, everybody loves them.
Yeah, they're orange.
But again, they just didn't stick around this year because of all the clouds and the rain. They died off, and then like everything died, and then they started growing back. So we may actually get like a second charge of them, which has never happened before. So we'll see. These are the steps that we used during COVID to kind of make a home gym out. Oh, there's a black squirrel. If you've never seen a black squirrel, we get all colors here. We got the black squirrels, the gray squirrels, the brown squirrels. He went up the back of the tree, but
Oh, yes.
they drive the wieners nuts, man. They always take off after these guys. But anyway, these were the bricks we kind of used in the home gym to do steps and as weights and all kind of stuff. But we made a big fire pit out of it because there was a little depression here in the area. And you can see how big. I mean, some of these trees, this is still a piece that was left. Some of these trees were huge. I mean, a couple of these guys, the whole half of the tree, I mean, I had to throw in here because it laid down on the ground. Anyway, this has just been like a weekly event this summer. Big, huge wheelbarrows full of dead branches. We throw them in here, we burn them, and then we kind of burn some of our old packaging and stuff with it. And along with that, now these kind of rocks over here, we're going to be repositioning and moving, so we're going to be showing you how to do that with the Works aero cart. That'll be a future video. This is an area we did level a lot of this out and add more rocks over here this year, because it was kind of had I don't know, a lot of them just were sinking and stuff, so that was helpful. These vines sure do like this gloomy and rainy weather because they're spreading out. There's the compost. That's doing real good. This is the chair that I made Jack when, well, you were little, about 2 or 3 years old at the time.
Yeah.
I think I was cutting some wood and
made it with the chainsaw.
made a little chair for you. I don't even think you fit it in anymore. Yeah. We might actually even just burn it because it got attacked by termites. Look at this back here.
Wow.
Something attacked it, started rotting, and yeah, so we may just throw that in the fire tonight. We'll see.
It's done.
We'll see what happens with that. As far as the garden goes, guys, over here, we did plant a lot of pumpkins and there's another stick. See, they're just everywhere all the time. We did plant a lot of stuff, and it just didn't do well. It was so wet and rainy. I think there's a little bit of something there that survived, but most of it just died. And since we dump a lot of our stuff over here, you can see a bunch of pokeweed grew, because probably it just got picked up when we cut grass and dumped the leaves over here. So a bunch of pokeweed started growing back here, which is totally fine with me. I mean, it's just a big, huge compost area. But yeah, a lot of these guys are already losing their leaves, and it's like going into fall here, and it's really only the beginning of September. We did the same thing over here. We just let a lot of these like strawberry vines and cloves kind of fill in, and we trim them along the bricks instead of having to mulch. It looks pretty good to us. It's just green and stuff. We did have a lot of these kind of guys, and again, they just kind of started dying off this time of year already. I mean, you know, this looks nice, lots of hanging plants like this one, but a lot of these guys are ready to go already. We did try to do some tomatoes out of this rain barrel. It's got dirt, and then I put a little bit of rocks on top, but I don't know, we only got like one tomato, one little guy, which I might eat that this weekend or maybe even tomorrow. It's looking pretty ripe. This is the new patio set we got this summer. It's working awesome. We love it. We've been eating out here a lot, except when it's raining. That's the calla lily. That's doing great. We got a little wheeled cart for that. We're going to be taking that into the pond room to keep it in there. We got to find some sort of tray for this because we like it, and that's going to be going in there in the workroom on that table. So we'll get that in there soon. Let's go over here and see what's going on with the whole puffball situation, see if we have any this year. This clematis was amazing, and a lot of people did comment it in some of the other videos we did this summer. It did really fill in, and it was huge, and it was purple, and it was amazing. But it just, again, it just did not last long this year. It's been a real funky year. A lot of people will notice that our chimney is gone. We got rid of our wood burners. We decided not to keep them. We just decided, well, we're gonna do a whole video on it actually. So we'll kind of fill you guys in, but that chimney was removed and some new shingles were put there, and you can't even tell that there was ever anything there. And as far as the wood burner that was in the other fireplace, that is still an existing fireplace and an existing chimney. We just took the insert out. So there's, you know, we can still use it to burn wood. In fact, we're gonna be testing some wood that we got really cheap tonight in the fire pit. We did kind of plant some grass between these two trees. It was some special shaded grass. And it grew and it filled in. But again, these big islands, I mean, we didn't remulch. They're doing okay. We might be moving that rock along with the other rocks again. A lot of these rocks, when they put in, so here's another pokeweed plant that's kind of spreading around. We don't mind if they shoot up here and there. They're okay. But a lot of these big boulders and rocks, we're going to be doing a video on them. When they put in gas lines here years ago, which we didn't do because we went solar, they dug up these tree lawns. And of course we have a giant tree lawn because we're in between two cul-de-sacs. So our sidewalk's like, you know, super, super long, goes all the way around. And a lot of these boulders they found and we took them. And me and Jack used the aero cart to kind of distribute them and stuff. But that was quite a few years ago. So we're going to be having a little video that shows kind of how that thing works and what an awesome invention it is.
So I see one.
Oh, what do we got?
That's a big one.
Oh, dude, that's a huge one. Look at that. That's a pretty huge one, man. Yeah, usually we do get some of them up in here with this ground cover. It looks like this is the only one. It seems like there's usually one or two over there, one or two over here. This is one of the larger ones we've ever had. This is a huge one. Now, this is past being ripe. This is already dead. Now, apparently, when they're white, we have cut them open before, and they are kind of cool inside. And people say you can kind of slice them, and people say it's actually a lot like tofu.
I would not try that.
I totally would. I totally would. But apparently, when they turn brown like this, it is past that point. Let me see if it'll come off. Oh, yeah, it's like not even attached at all. Yeah, it's pretty neat.
Whoa.
And this is a big one. This is bigger than a volleyball. Pretty huge. So at this point in time, it's just basically a huge ball full of spores. We're going to take it because we're going to have a fire tonight. Jack likes to burn them. So we're going to take it.
Cancer if I touch it.
Yeah. It's like a big loaf of bread, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they say if it's still white like that, you can actually slice it up and cook it like a portobello mushroom or something like that, or like tofu. And it's actually pretty healthy. But at this point, it's just spores inside, and it's already started to rot. But let's take it over here. We have a lot of other mushrooms forming. This is a pretty huge one. That's about 10 or 12 inches long. A lot of these stumps and stuff back here. Don't know if that one is edible in any way. These are just old stumps that we just kind of let get covered up. We have a rock on this. Again, we're going to be moving that one pretty soon. Let's check this other one. I think there's a whole bunch of like turkey tail over here. Yeah, all these boulders came out of our tree lawn basically when they did work here years ago. And Jack and I kind of put them all around here. This one's got a lot of this turkey tail type of thing on it. Some of them are dead, but during the summer, they're kind of really neat looking when you take a close look at them. How detailed they are. And I think about a year ago when we did this wild edibles, really cool channel. They know a lot about mushrooms and cooking mushrooms and that. They said that that's what these were. Now, I don't think these other ones are. These are different. Not sure what they are or whether or not they're edible. This one here is pretty neat. But yeah, they're big down in here. I mean, they're huge. Nothing like this guy, though. Probably not going to be moving this guy. This guy's gigantic. And I kind of like how he sticks out of the stuff there. A lot of this stuff will stay green. This is a hydrangea here. A lot of this stuff is cool. It'll stay green. It'll look good. All the way through the year, even sometimes. But, you know, some of it comes, some of it goes. Little concerned about some of these pine trees. I may decide to take some of those down. A lot of these guys might need trimmed here soon. But a lot of the really big ones we did take down previously. Oh, there's the cardinal. Yeah, we got quite a few families of cardinal over here. So we're going to dump that stuff in there. This is, of course, just a lot of, you know, bags, cardboard left over from stuff we get delivered. Some of it we recycle, some of it we burn if we're having a fire. We'll probably toss that guy in, just because Jack likes to, and see how it burns. You can see how big that sucker is, man. We'll sometimes get more, but usually if they're not here by this time of year, we're not going to get them. Yeah, at this point in time, it's just spores pretty much. It does. It looks like couch cushioning or something, you know. But hey, one of the reasons we let it grow is because we always want to see how big they're going to get, right?
Yeah.
One of these years, though, maybe next year, or if we get some more this year, I'm going to pick it when it's nice and big and white. And I'm going to slice that baby up. I'm going to put it in a stir fry, and you're not even going to know it. I'm going to tell you it's tofu.
I'm going to know.
You're going to know. You're going to be like, this is a puffball, man. I don't know. I've looked them up, and lots of people cook them, and I was thinking about doing that to this one, but it was one of the bigger ones we'd ever seen, and Jack's like, let it ride, so I did. But you know what? Think about that, how big that would have been. That would have been pretty good. It's a lot of stir fries, man. I mean, it's the same nutrition as any other mushroom, not a ton of protein or anything, but, you know, probably got some vitamin D and all that good stuff.
Toxic waste.
No, it's not. It's toxic now.
Sprinkle of radioactive material.
You love mushrooms.
Yeah, but that's not mushroom.
That's not a mushroom? Kind of sad to burn it up, honestly, but it's just rotten and falling apart over there. So we're going to be putting a lot of these big rocks over here. We're going to be doing a video kind of making more of a rock garden over there with some of these boulders we've been wanting to move. We're going to be using the Works aerial cart and kind of showing, you know, how that works. It is really awesome. So we're going to wait till it gets a little darker. We're going to light this up, see if we can burn this guy up here, and then throw this old big puffball in there, and then some of this cardboard and stuff. Just kind of get this stuff all cleaned up here. Forgot about the side of the house. The hostas have actually loved this kind of weather. They've been doing great. They're huge. These guys got blown over too. We got like these daisy type of things, but they got like blown over from the weather. These hostas over here did pretty good too. They had some big, nice flowers coming out of them this year. Again, it just didn't last long. Just didn't last long. Very short-lived summer. This front hosta here did pretty good too, but it did get a little burn. That one gets quite a bit of sun, more than the other ones. These pots, we just kind of had these little tiny daisies sprout up, and there was actually a lot of them, and we just kind of let that go. And there was a couple of sunflowers that survived, but they kind of are small. I don't know what kind they are, but it looks like they're getting ready to do something, so that's kind of cool. So we'll see if they develop. This fern over here in this corner is nuts. It is bonkers. It's still sprouting. Like, look at the top here. I mean, these little guys just keep coming out. That's an elephant fern, and it lives up to its name. It is gigantic. I mean, it's crazy. This is our little Amazon podium, we call it. We get little deliveries, they throw them on our little podium. I think I got that at Mark's in a clearance rack for $5. This one over here gets a little more sun, so it didn't grow very much. But the strawberries, you know, grow over here. And again, we just kind of let these guys go. We trim them if they get too much, but they also grow out of this bucket here. And they kind of hang down the sides, which is cool, but a lot of them died recently. And then we've got more of these kind of little purple lily kind of things here too. And there was a whole bunch of these, but again, the storms knocked a lot of stuff down. All right, Jack's got the giant puffball. Don't hit it too much. I don't want spores flying around. I don't want to inhale any spores. Got the big trunk in there. That thing's lighting up. It's so dry and old. Look at the puffball. It just kind of burns right up. It's always kind of surprising.